Hey guys, Zach Miner here for Rev3 Games, and I'm alongside the lovely Jackie Talbot.
Hello.
Who got to check out a brand new alpha build of Mercenary Ops, right?
Yeah, so Mercenary Ops is this third-person shooter from Epic Shanghai that is going to come out this summer. If you remember way back this year in GDC, it was so long ago, guys. Back in GDC a couple months ago, I got a chance to play it like way early. Like they were just designing maps and wanted to show it off. But now they're in alpha testing, and they're going to be opening a closed beta testing soon. So they wanted to come by and show it off for us, and I got a chance to see what it's all about, and it's actually come a long way since then.
Yeah, it looks like it. So this is, in case you're not familiar, this is so it's free to play. They announced for that, right?
Right.
Free to play, multiplayer only, third-person shooter, which is kind of unique because you see a lot of like first-person shooters like this that are going after that esports target, but not a lot of third-person shooters.
Yeah, they wanted to bring third-person in because it's like you have so much more strategy and the way that you see things and things you have to think about and just different dynamics, and so they wanted to make it, since this is a completely competitive, because as you mentioned, there's no single player, it's only multiplayer. So the key is being competitive, so you want to have kind of more strategy options, but they also didn't want to keep it like sluggish, like third-person shooters typically are.
A little bit slower than first-person.
Yeah, so they definitely wanted to pay attention to keeping it as fast-paced as possible. And so people are kind of saying it's like a Counter-Strike meets Gears of War kind of thing. As you're strafing, you can kind of like roll out of the way. I think it was like right-click or something. Another element with third-person dynamic is taking cover when you don't want to get shot, because you can kind of like blind fire over things, and that's just another element to add to it. The other thing was their active reload, which is something that we're familiar with from Gears of War, which is obviously not weird for Epic to do, but they have the active reload in there, which is really nice. So there's only, as I said, head-to-head or co-op modes. There's 7 different multiplayer maps, which includes only 3 different game modes of multiplayer. The game modes, the standard team deathmatch. There's also a demolition, which is search and destroy the bomb site, and there's another one called elimination, which is basically just kill everybody until there's one dude left, and that's the winner. So there's a limited amount of game modes as far as being completely multiplayer, but then they make it up for the fact that there are there's a bunch of co-op. There's 5 different game modes, but they're gonna have monthly DLC for co-op, is what they're guaranteeing. And then maybe every few months they'll add in some new head-to-head things. But the co-op is cool. It's 5 to 8 players depending on what mode you have. Again, it's the typical. There's an assault, which is like objectives, different little missions to get to the end point. There's survival mode, which is zombies, which everybody loves. And then there's also invasion mode, which is regular zombies, I guess. It's just waves of enemies coming at you the entire time. So
it's a little bit different than some other co-op modes, because in like the assault mode, you actually have objectives, and you're kind of like progressing through a full kind of level that you would see almost in this.
It's almost like a mini single-player game the way it's laid out, because it's you have your different checkpoints, which are kind of like mini levels, you know. So that's kind of their typical co-op mode.
So what kind of customization does the game have?
So because it is so competitive, they want you to be able to kind of fine-tune every aspect of it, including your character. So there are no custom classes. It's not like you're like the assault guy or the medic or whatever. Like you choose your 2 primary weapons, your 1 sidearm, your perks, which you get 6 different slots for perks, and your equipment. And all of that affects how you play. So like you can have 2 primary weapons, but if you're lugging around like a sniper and a rocket launcher, you're going to be slow as hell. So, all those little things come into play where maybe you just want to choose 1 primary, you know? It just depends on what kind of gameplay you want to have with it and what your tactics are, I guess. So it's very customizable as far as your character goes. And you level up to 30. And they said that they're not sure what they want to do after that, whether you're going to prestige or something or not, because 30s, they don't really want to focus too much on like leveling up and like, getting at this certain point, because they also want you to be able to hold your own if you're only like level 2 or something.
Right. Even though it is free to play, they were like, they were very careful about saying that the game is not like pay to win, right?
Absolutely.
That most of the stuff that you pay for will be like cosmetic upgrades, and you won't be able to buy like a weapon that some other person had to become super high level.
Yeah, totally. So everything that will affect your game is available by just playing and getting it. And the things that aren't going to affect your game, like cosmetics, those are only purchased. So, and then they also include neutral weapons. So like, if you remember, obviously in Halo, you have the Plasma Elite Sword. They have weapons like that per map, where it's It's a really insane, really crazy weapon, but it only has limited ammo.
Right.
Slows you down, that kind of thing. I feel like Gears of War, like, they did third person really well, and this is kind of another step in the third person evolution.
Right. It's almost like if you took a lot of the mechanics, like the cover system and the active reload, and you put it in a multiplayer only game, this is kind of what you would get, and of course vastly sped up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looked cool just from watching you play.
It is a lot of fun. I do like it. I do plan to play it in their closed beta, which I am looking forward to.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have more updates on the game then.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you can follow Jackie on Twitter, right? What's her handle?
Yeah, I'm at Jackie Talbot.
I don't know how I forgot that. And Rev3 Games is also on there, at Rev3 Games. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.